welcome to FS22 and my first series on here, and it's my take on the ever popular survival challenge. So we own a plot of land which is pretty heavily wooded at the moment, and we're going to head down there and take a look and make a start on making some money. So we are starting with only $500. This pickup, which is pretty old, I'm on the wrong side of the road, and a chainsaw. Fairly classic start for a good old survival challenge. The rules for the series, so I have it on easy economy because we don't have all of the cheap old mods that you have in FS19, so it's on easy economy to give me a chance to actually progress. Leasing, don't think so. We're not going to be leasing. I'm hoping that I can actually afford to buy the things that we need. Contracts, yes, as long as I have the equipment. We are close to an actual farming area, so why not? We probably will need to make some money, but this is the plot of land that we own. So if I jump into the map, I can get to the map. Still getting used to the menus. So we own this plot of land down in this bottom corner here. There was a field here in the past. It is no more. It is now a fairly overgrown forest area. We do have a little camping spot down here so we can rest. And then I'm not sure if we can make it down this track. It's been left for a while and there are a few trees in the way which we're going to need to clear out. We have a shed that we can use for storing things if we need to. So pretty much we're going to have to work on clearing this area off to make some space for things, earn some money, because we only have 500 euros in the bank. And we're going to need things like tractors and all ground working tools and all that kind of thing. So I think the first thing we need to do is pick a tree to take down and look at making some money. So I'm going to stick the hub back on and I will be right back with you. Better, we can see what we're doing now. So it's early March, we have seasons on, and I'm playing with the 2-day seasons, which gets us two-day months, which gets us close to 3-day seasons. And I think we're going to try taking down this tree. We have a mixture in here of poplars. They look a bit different to poplars in FS19. Some pines and spruces and oaks and a few other things. Birch as well. They're all different kind of levels of maturity. Something we don't have yet is a stump grinder, and obviously we don't have the lumberjack mod, so we can't deal with the stumps until we can afford a tractor and a stump grinder. And we're going to need a tractor that is big enough that we can actually run the stump grinder. Because again, we don't have mods, so the stump grinder requires quite a lot of horsepower. It's 150. I am also not great at deliming trees. We're going to get better at, I think. We're going to have to do a lot of it. So this series is going to be like a lot of my series lately, so it will be a mixture of time-lapse and more like this, with me talking. But I thought I'd just do a proper introduction. Jeez, come on. Come on. There we go. So we don't have super strength, obviously, although super strength is now available if you go on to fs19.lt. They are putting up a lot of FS22 scripts already, and FS22 has super strength available. I don't have it enabled because I don't think it's really sensible for a series like this. If you could just pick up whole trees, it removes some of the challenge. So we have a 1.6 ton 23 meter spruce tree to try and get in the back of the pickup and then get over to the sawmill. So one of the things that I was hoping to have in this series, and I couldn't see it in the base game, is the static wood chipper. Because that was my plan for starting off, was doing some wood chipping to make some money, but was not to be, so we are starting off with taking lumber to the lumber mill. My hope is, because we can't fit a huge amount in the back of the pickup, so quite quickly we'll be able to afford a trailer. The logging trailers will not hook up to the pickup, which kind of makes sense, but in FS22 some of them would. So we are going to need to probably get the little flatbed trailer that you've seen loads of people using in their Let's Plays originally from the Alpine DLC. And we'll be able to put a few logs on that. So I'm doing quite well at the moment at getting the cuts right to be able to pick the logs up. I think I can get the whole tree on the back of the truck. Let's try going a little bit longer now. Yep, we are clearly a very, very strong farmer, picking up 178 kilogram log. But you see, if I try and pick the whole tree up, if I bring the F1 menu back up, it says it's too heavy. I'm kind of glad I can't deadlift a 700 kilo tree into the back of my truck. That would be massively unrealistic. But then again, so is me walking around like this with a 150 kilo log. And I'm not sure this old pickup would, maybe it would take a 1.2 ton load on the back of it. Yeah, as we get further down the tree and it gets a bit narrower, we can pick up slightly longer pieces, which means we might make slightly more as we go. I've lost my tree. There we go. So still 400 kilos. So it'll be too heavy to pick up for us. So I'm going to get this first tree sold, and then we're going to go into time-lapse mode, I think, because I'm going to have to do this a few times to get ourselves established. Something that I was really pleased to see was the mods dropping already, because eventually we're going to need a combine, and we can't afford a several £100,000 combine. How do you lose a tree? There we are. Can I pick this bit up? No. Good, because it's 300 kilos, and that would be pretty crazy. I think we've got 2 pieces left to load up. Ignore the slightly dodgy loading. Somewhere down here. Seriously, how do you lose a tree? Need to get some sort of mower in here. What we'll do is we'll jump in the truck. Hopefully we'll be able to see it in third person view. There it is. We should be able to pick this last piece up. Yep. Try and get that strapped on the top. There we go. Thankfully there are no road safety people around to look at our very dodgy load. Right, let's head up to the sawmill and see if we can make our first bit of money, because we've already lost I'm on dollars. If you watch my videos, you'll know I do this a lot. You should probably have that on kilometers as well.
I got an ache inside of me. It's a deep hole where I bleed. Oh, can I seal it? You're like an ocean without land. Not a single grain of sand. I'm drifting on it. So cold, yet warm. When you hold me, when you close.
They're almost up to the sawmill now. You will have seen a couple of deer there, which is a nice little addition to the game. Really hope that it's not going to take too many trips up here to be able to afford that trailer, which will make things much easier, because although we can't load longer logs, I think it's got a lower centre of gravity and hopefully it should be a bit more stable. And then we'll be working towards trying to get a tractor. I suspect we'll be looking in the used vehicle section to try and pick up a small used tractor that we can get a front loader on. That will run the stump grinder as well. So once we get a front loader on, we can then obviously start bringing longer logs up here and hopefully making more money. Just up here on the left is the lumber mill. So let's see what we're going to make from our first tree. I have not actually tested this on this level of difficulty, so nice. Not as much as I would have hoped, but not awful. In fact, I'm actually going to check that I do have it on the difficulty level. I think I do. So we're going to need to do about 4 of those, I think, to be able to afford the trailer we want. Yeah, maybe 5. So I think now is a really good time to get into the time lapse. So I'm going to get back over to our parcel of land and get a load of trees cut up and sold. So future me will be back in a moment. So this is future me, actually quite a long way in the future because I recorded this about a week ago, but just getting around to editing it. So just a refresher on the rules or guidelines for the series. We can't sell the truck that we have. I've aged it to make it worth not very much anyway, but can't sell the truck that we have, can't sell the plot of land that we have. Let's say it's inherited and it's a family asset that we can't sell. So if we want to move around the map, you have to do it without selling this piece of land. We cannot lease stuff, but we can buy stuff. Obviously we can buy used stuff, and we can do contracts, but we have to own the equipment to do the contract. That's partly because I'm going to get fed up of doing forestry and want to be able to do a few other things. What else? That's pretty much it really. Generally going to be playing on, I start off on 3 times, but I think I switched to 5 times. 3 times was a bit slow. I'm going to be somewhere around 3 to 5 times, and as I've said, I've got 2-day months on, which gives us 6-day seasons, which is kind of the basic of what I always played on FS19. If that doesn't work, we'll switch it about. So just taking the next tree up to the lumber mill, see what we're going to get for that. 1,300 euros, it's not too bad. So the goal for this episode is to earn enough to buy that trailer that we need so that we can take more lumber up to the lumber mill and start working towards some other things. So probably going to try and get into greenhouses fairly quickly to get a source of income, possibly animals, maybe even before we start doing our own farming work, if we can get maybe a chicken pen, they're not too expensive, or some sheep, that would be good. Obviously we need to get a tractor with a loader so we can sell more complete logs on the trailer that we're going to get, and that will then allow us to hopefully do some grass work because we have a lot of grass. Something that I've noticed that you've just seen, actually we'll just sell this log and then I'll talk about it. So another 1,300 euros is that if you keep hold of the log, you're incredibly strong and you can pretty much tip over the truck. So you have to make sure you let go of the truck before you walk away, because otherwise you're going to end up tipping that thing over, which is a bit strange. It's something that you can sort of exploit as well, because if you hold a piece of wood you can then push around a whole tree, which obviously we wouldn't recommend doing. But yeah, I think you could do that in the old FS as well. So you're just going to sell one more log here, and that should, I think, get us enough to buy our trailer. I'm going to try and keep the number of episodes that I just do forestry to a minimum, but there's going to be a few before we get into some of the more interesting stuff. Basically, we've got to earn enough money to buy a tractor, and certainly at this point in me playing this, the cheapest useful tractor was about 50,000 euros, which is quite a lot unless it ends up in a sale. So one more tree in fact to get us to our 8,000 euros to get the trailer. So yeah, we've got quite a long way to go, which is why I want to get into things like greenhouses and animals so that we can actually afford to get the kit that we need. I'm going to be doing quite a few episodes of this week. I've got 4 stacked up that I've got recorded that I need to get edited and things to get out. So we'll head down to the store now and buy our trailer, and we'll call it a day there. Hope you like this style of series. It's not Daggerwin's survival challenge at all. It is my survival challenge because it's going to be different. So 8,000 euros on a trailer. Hopefully next time that means we can make a bit more cash and make some progress. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please leave me a comment about what you think, and I'll catch you next time here on Au Baileron.